Good evening. There's something powerful about a woman who walks alone. She doesn't follow the crowd, nor does she wait for permission. She understands that true strength comes not from the company of others, but from the courage to walk her own path, even when the road ahead is uncertain. Independence and strength are two qualities that go hand in hand when describing a woman who walks alone. These characteristics are not simply about being self-sufficient or solitary. They represent a deeper, more profound power that comes from within. The woman who walks alone possesses a quiet yet unshakable independence, a sense of autonomy that allows her to navigate life on her terms without relying on others for validation or direction. Independence in this sense is not a declaration of isolation or rejection of support. Rather, it is the understanding that her strength doesn't depend on the opinions or approval of others. She walks alone because she has learned to rely on her inner resources. Her sense of worth is not determined by the company she keeps, the title she holds, or the roles society expects her to fulfill. Instead, she has embraced the idea that her own mind, spirit, and heart are enough to guide her. She doesn't need external validation to affirm her worth because she has already discovered her own value. This kind of independence requires a great deal of self-awareness and courage. It requires the ability to make choices, take risks, and face challenges without the security of always having someone by her side. The woman who walks alone isn't afraid of the unknown. She knows that the path may be difficult, and there may be times when the journey feels lonely or overwhelming, but she has the strength to push forward. Her resilience comes from knowing that she is capable of weathering any storm and finding her way, even in the most uncertain of circumstances. Her strength is not loud or brash. It is quiet and unyielding. It is the strength to stand firm in her convictions, even when the world around her tries to pull her in different directions. It's the strength to face rejection, disappointment, and failure without letting them define her. It's the strength to rise every time she falls, to continue walking even when the weight of the world feels too heavy to bear. She doesn't give up because giving up is not in her nature. Her strength lies in her ability to rise again and again, stronger than before. This strength is not born from an absence of fear, but from the courage to move forward in spite of it. The woman who walks alone is not immune to doubt, to insecurities, or to the challenges of life. But she has learned to navigate those emotions with grace, understanding that fear does not have to dictate her actions. She faces her fears head on, knowing that they are a part of the journey, but they do not have the power to stop her. Independence and strength also manifest in her ability to make decisions that align with her true self, even if those decisions aren't what others expect. She is not afraid to choose a different path, to follow her own dreams, or to create her own definition of success. This is not to say that she is unwilling to accept help or support when needed. Rather, it means that she understands the importance of standing firm in her own beliefs and values. She is not defined by what others want her to be or by society's expectations. Her strength lies in her ability to carve out a life that is uniquely her own, a life that is grounded in authenticity, purpose, and self-respect. When a woman walks alone, it is not because she is weak or incapable of relying on others, but because she understands the depth of her own strength and the power of walking through life on her own terms. Overcoming adversity is a fundamental trait of a woman who walks alone. Life's challenges and struggles are inevitable, but it is in how she confronts and navigates these difficulties that her true character is revealed. For the woman who walks alone, adversity does not define her, it refines her. She meets each challenge with an unwavering determination to rise above, using every obstacle as a stepping stone toward her greater self. Adversity in its many forms tests her limits and pushes her to her breaking point. It comes in the form of personal loss, failures, rejection, societal pressure, or even the weight of expectations placed upon her. These moments of hardship could easily make anyone retreat or give up, but not the woman who walks alone. She understands that these trials, though painful, are not permanent. They are part of the larger journey that shapes her into the woman she is becoming. She does not allow the pain of the present to overshadow the possibilities of the future. One of the most profound ways she overcomes adversity is by reframing her perspective on struggle. Instead of seeing adversity as a barrier, she sees it as an opportunity for growth. Each setback is a lesson, each challenge an invitation to evolve. She learns that pain is not something to be avoided, but something to be endured, transformed, and eventually transcended. This shift in perspective is not an easy one, but it is the key to her resilience. It is what allows her to keep moving forward when the world seems determined to pull her back. When faced with adversity, she taps into her inner strength and resilience, qualities that have been forged through experience. She has learned that true strength doesn't come from a life free of obstacles, but from the ability to persist in the face of them. She may stumble, she may fall, but she will rise again, stronger, wiser, and more determined than before. This resilience is built on a foundation of belief in herself, belief in her purpose, and belief that no matter what happens, she has the ability to navigate through the storm. Her journey is often marked by times when she has to walk alone, without the support or understanding of others. The world might not always recognize her struggles, but she knows that the battles she faces are shaping her into the woman she is meant to be. There are moments of deep loneliness, moments when the weight of adversity feels unbearable. But it is during these times that she learns to trust herself more than ever before. She has no choice but to rely on her own strength and to find solace in her own ability to push forward. In overcoming adversity, she also learns the value of patience. Healing does not happen overnight, and the path to overcoming hardship is rarely linear. There will be days when progress feels slow and the pain may resurface. But the woman who walks alone understands that progress, no matter how small, is still progress. She takes it one step at a time, knowing that every step brings her closer to her ultimate goal. Through each challenge she faces, she becomes more attuned to her own resilience. She realizes that her worth is not determined by the hardships she faces, but by how she rises from them. Each difficulty is a testament to her strength and determination. She doesn't just survive adversity, she thrives in it. And with every challenge she overcomes, she becomes a stronger, more unstoppable force, ready to face whatever life throws her way. Self-discovery is one of the most profound aspects of a woman who walks alone. It is not simply about finding out who she is, but about embracing all the complexities of her identity, purpose, and values. The woman who walks alone embarks on a journey that allows her to explore the depths of her own heart and mind, navigating the highs and lows of life in order to understand her true self. This journey is often one of reflection, introspection, and growth, where she learns not only about her strengths, but also her vulnerabilities and desires. At the core of self-discovery is the willingness to face oneself without fear or judgment. In a world full of external pressures, societal expectations, and the opinions of others, it's easy to lose sight of who we truly are. But for the woman who walks alone, self-discovery becomes a sacred pursuit. She refuses to be shaped solely by the narratives others have written for her. Instead, she listens to her own inner voice, allowing it to guide her on a path that feels authentic to her. This inner voice speaks the language of truth and authenticity, encouraging her to embrace what makes her unique, to stand proudly in her individuality. The process of self-discovery often involves unlearning the stories that have been imposed upon her. From a young age, society begins to teach her how she should act, what she should desire, and what her worth is based on. Over time, these messages can become internalized, forming a framework through which she views herself and the world around her. But the woman who walks alone begins to peel back these layers, questioning the beliefs and ideals that were handed to her. She dares to ask herself what she truly wants, not what she is told to want, and what makes her feel fulfilled, not what others deem successful. This process is not easy. It often involves confronting difficult truths and challenging long-held beliefs, but it is in this unlearning that she finds freedom. Through self-discovery, she gains clarity about her purpose. She begins to understand why she does the things she does, what drives her, and what her deepest passions are. This knowledge becomes a compass that directs her decisions, relationships, and the path she chooses to walk. She may not have all the answers right away, but with each step, she becomes more attuned to what feels right for her. Her purpose is no longer defined by external validation, but by her own sense of meaning and fulfillment. Part of this journey also involves embracing her strengths and weaknesses. The woman who walks alone understands that she is not perfect, and she doesn't have to be. Through self-discovery, she learns to appreciate the complexities of who she is, the areas in which she excels, and the areas where she needs to grow. She doesn't shy away from her flaws, but faces them with compassion and a desire to evolve. She knows that these imperfections do not diminish her value, but are simply part of the beautiful, evolving tapestry of her life. In the process of self-discovery, the woman who walks alone also gains a deeper connection to her intuition. She learns to trust her gut feelings and instincts, knowing that they are reliable guides along her journey. She is no longer swayed easily by others' opinions or decisions, as she has come to trust herself more than ever before. This self-trust becomes a powerful force, allowing her to make decisions with confidence and to pursue her goals with unwavering determination. Self-discovery is a continuous journey, not a destination. The woman who walks alone understands that the process is ongoing. She is always evolving, always growing, and always learning more about who she is and who she is becoming. It is through this constant journey of exploration and growth that she uncovers the depth of her true self. And it is this deep understanding that empowers her to walk boldly, unapologetically, and authentically. Faith in the journey is a cornerstone for the woman who walks alone. It is the quiet belief that every step she takes, no matter how uncertain or difficult, is leading her towards something greater than herself. This faith isn't about having a clear map of where the journey will end, nor is it about knowing every twist and turn in advance. Instead, it is a deep trust in the process, in the unseen forces that guide her along the way, and in her own ability to navigate through life with purpose, even when the road ahead is unclear. Faith in the journey starts with a willingness to embrace the unknown. The woman who walks alone recognizes that life is unpredictable, filled with both light and darkness, triumphs and setbacks. While others may shy away from uncertainty, she steps into it with open arms. She knows that it is in the unknown that true growth happens. Each moment of uncertainty presents an opportunity for self-discovery, for learning, and for expansion. She may not know exactly what will happen tomorrow or next year, but she understands that every step she takes, regardless of how small, contributes to her overall journey. She chooses to walk without the need for a guaranteed outcome because she has faith that the path will unfold as it should. This faith is not blind optimism or a passive expectation that everything will work out without effort. It is an active belief that challenges and obstacles are an essential part of the journey, shaping her in ways that are ultimately for her good. The woman who walks alone knows that hardships will come. There will be moments of doubt, disappointment, and even failure. But she also knows that these trials are not the end of her story. Instead, they are integral to her growth, strengthening her resilience and deepening her understanding of herself and the world around her. Faith in the journey also requires patience. The woman who walks alone has learned that the process of becoming is not rushed. It is easy to want things to happen quickly, to want answers, solutions, and success to come fast. But she understands that true transformation takes time. There are no shortcuts. She is patient with herself, allowing herself to grow at her own pace without comparing her progress to others. Her faith tells her that what is meant for her will come in its own time, and that she is exactly where she needs to be, even if she can't yet see the full picture. This faith is rooted in a sense of trust, not only in the journey, but also in her own inner strength. She trusts herself to make the right choices, to face challenges head on, and to adapt when needed. She knows that even when she stumbles or feels lost, she has the strength to get back up and keep moving forward. This trust in herself allows her to continue walking, even when the road is long and the destination seems distant. She is not waiting for some grand sign or moment of clarity to confirm that she is on the right path. She trusts that the very act of walking is enough. At times, faith in the journey may also involve letting go of the need to control every aspect of her life. The woman who walks alone understands that there are forces beyond her control, and she does not resist them. Instead, she embraces the flow of life, trusting that there is a purpose behind every experience, even those that seem difficult or painful in the moment. She surrenders to the process, knowing that the journey will reveal what she needs to learn when the time is right. Empowerment and influence are two powerful forces that define the woman who walks alone. Though she may be physically walking by herself, her strength and presence ripple out far beyond her own journey, inspiring others to find their own power and voice. She embodies the belief that empowerment isn't just about individual success. It is about lifting others as she rises, offering a living example of what it means to own one's worth and live authentically. At the heart of her empowerment is the understanding that she is enough, just as she is. She doesn't need to conform to societal standards or live up to the expectations placed upon her. She has embraced her uniqueness, and this self-acceptance becomes the foundation of her personal strength. The woman who walks alone does not seek approval from others because she has already validated herself. She knows that her value comes from within, and because of this, she radiates confidence and a sense of inner peace that can't be shaken by external opinions. Her empowerment is also reflected in the way she takes control of her own life. She does not allow fear or insecurity to dictate her choices. Instead, she embraces responsibility for her decisions and actions. The woman who walks alone does not wait for life to happen to her. She actively creates the life she wants. This sense of agency and self-determination is contagious. When others witness her living boldly and unapologetically, it awakens something within them. It gives them permission to do the same. She shows them that they too can stand in their own power and take control of their lives, regardless of the obstacles they face. Her influence goes beyond personal empowerment. As she walks, others take notice. She influences not through force or persuasion, but through her example. Her strength, her authenticity, and her unwavering resolve are magnetic. People are drawn to her energy, not because she is trying to lead or change them, but because she embodies a kind of power that inspires them to rise to their own potential. She doesn't need to seek followers or approval because her influence grows organically. By simply being true to herself and living her life with integrity, she becomes a role model for others, particularly those who may feel powerless or constrained by external expectation. The woman who walks alone understands that influence is not about imposing her will on others, but about offering the gift of possibility. She creates a space where people can see the fullness of their own potential. She empowers those around her to believe in themselves,